Welcome to Kalos's Gaming Table. I am Kalos. Today I'm going to go through an unboxing of a product I've been waiting for a long time. A beta version of this product was released for the Battletech Mercenary Kickstarter backers. It's going to be a new way to play Battletech Alpha Strike, and maybe with some tweaking, adapted to use with Classic. Yes, my fellow gamers, it is finally here. It is time to unbox and go over Battletech Aces Scouring Sands. To get this out of the way, I was not provided this copy of Aces Scouring Sands for review, and this will be my full and unbiased review. When Aces was first mentioned during the Mercenaries Kickstarter, all we knew was it was going to be a new way to play Alpha Strike, either solo or cooperatively. Instead of you going head-to-head versus another player, the Op4 would be controlled by cards. Each mech of the Op4 would have its own stack of cards, and their actions would be based upon what was on the card. Now, I fully admit that my memory isn't that great, but either the way that it was originally described, or at least speculation, was that Aces was going to be a deck of cards that you could buy, or it might come with an Alliance or a Star Pack. A neat idea, but nothing major. Then, PAX Unplugged 2024 happened. What we found out was that Aces was going to be a full box set, including mechs, rules, cards, even terrain, that can be mixed with any existing Alpha Strike terrain you might have. More than that, we found out that Scouring Sands was to be the first of 4 Aces releases, each one tied to one of the Oakland era sourcebooks. From the way it's been described, these upcoming releases will all be intertwined, meaning you'll be able to move your mercenaries from Scouring Sands and take them into the next box set. We learned that Scouring Sands would have a full mercenary campaign with multiple paths, allowing you to run through several times and playing different missions. The cards were more refined than the PDFs that had been originally included with the Kickstarter. Six Sides of Gaming, the company that designed Aces Scouring Sands, showed off the product, and for the better part of a year have been streaming games, holding Q&A sessions, and building hype for this product. I'm very much excited for a new campaign system as well as the ability to play solo. Yes, I do like to play with my mates at my friendly local game store, but sometimes I can't get out or I just want to try something new. On top of that, we're getting 7 clan mechs, including a new mech, the Thunderbolt 2C, as well as 2 Fulcrum hover tanks. The campaign is set in the Oakland era, and it is your mercenary company versus the Clan Jade Falcon. In preparations for the release of Scouring Sands, I painted up all the spare clan mechs I had into Clan Jade Falcon Epsilon Galaxy. It has been a long year of waiting, watching streams, reading social media posts, and pestering Rem on Tuesday Newsday for any new information. Aces is finally here. Aces Scouring Sands is produced by Catalyst Game Labs and has an MSRP of $80 US. What do you get? 7 mechs, 2 hover tanks, a 40-page rulebook, a 70-page campaign book with 22 scenarios, paper log sheets, 21 Alpha Strike cards, 8 pilot cards, 70 Aces cards broken up into 11 decks, 10 Commander cards broken up into 2 decks, 12 Edge Ability cards, 12 Battlefield Support Asset cards, 1 Heavy Stock reference sheet, 10 large fold-up cardstock hills, 1 punchboard sheet of counters, 1 3D punchboard bridge, 8 punchboard river tiles. Now, you will need the Alpha Strike rules to play Aces Scouring Sands. You can use the Alpha Strike Commander's Edition, the rulebook from the Alpha Strike box set, or the free Alpha Strike rules provided by Catalyst Game Labs. Where can you pick up Battletech Aces Scouring Sands? Well, right now it's pretty much only available in the States, and it's starting to get out there. Your friendly local game store should be able to get it for you. You can order it off of Amazon. There are several online retailers that will be carrying it as well. Now, my hope is that CGL anticipated high sales for Aces Scouring Sands and then doubled whatever their original projection was. I also hope it gets out to the rest of the world quickly. If you're finding my unboxing videos useful and informative, please like, subscribe to the channel, share it with others, and let me know what you think in the comments. YouTube is always tweaking that damned algorithm, so all of that helps me out. If you want to follow me on social media, head on over to Bluesky. I post works in progress, channel updates, and silly memes. And if you're in a position to more substantially support the channel, you can also head over to my Ko-fi page, link in the description below. Now let's open up this bad boy and let's see what Battletech Aces Scouring Sands is all about. My copy of Battletech Aces Scouring Sands has finally arrived. This is the first of 4 boxed sets that's going to be released by Catalyst Game Labs in conjunction with Six Sides of Gaming. This is going to be an Alpha Strike cooperative campaign, and I have to say this box is dense. The shipping box weighed it out at like 4.9 pounds, and it is dense. Let's take a look at the back. Alright, here's the back of the box that shows you everything that you get with it, and looking at it, it is a lot. This does retail for $80 US, but it is a full campaign and a lot of plastic and a lot of cardboard inside as well. With that out of the way, let's open this guy up and start going through stuff. Alright, the first thing that we see is the rule book. It's neat artwork on the front. We'll go look at that a bit more in depth later. Next up, we have a bunch of cardboard hills. Put some of these together and take a look at them later. Here we have the meat and potatoes of this. We've got all of the mechs plus some cards. These look to be a combination of the Alpha Strike cards and some Battlefield support cards. I believe those are commander cards. These appear to be the Op4 deck. It'll be interesting to look at those. But here we have all of the mechs and the 2 Fulcrum tanks. What else do we have in here? Well, here's our Alpha Strike quick reference sheet. Pretty self-explanatory. I have to dig up the other 2 sheets that I have since I will be playing more Alpha Strike. We've got a logbook for all of the missions that you'll be running, along with what you made, any issues that you run into. Very cool. I do love tracking stuff like that. Here we have all kinds of cardboard cutouts. Oops, well, popped loose, but that's okay. We got waypoints, movement modifiers. Not sure what those are. I think that's an initiative tracker. Take a look at that. Also a bit more in depth. Very cool. Here we have some cardboard cutouts for different pieces of terrain, like a river or a dry riverbed. Looks to be probably a part of the bridge that they're talking about. We can make some connectors. More to the bridge, more rivers, more dry gulches. And yet another one. Alright, very neat. Putting that bridge together later. And here we have Scouring Sands campaign book. This is where the magic happens. Talks about everything that's in the boxed set. How to set up missions. Guided tutorial to go through everything. Additional rules. Terrain legend. Excellent. Now, just as a reminder, you are still going to need the Alpha Strike Commander's Edition rulebook, the rulebook from the Battletech Alpha Strike boxed set, or the free rules that you can download from the Catalyst website. The simple fact of the matter is there are still a lot of special units and things like that, so still have to have the rules, but I love the artwork. Alright, let's get you out of the way. Now, let's get to the reason that most of us are really here, to take a look at the mechs. First up, we've got the Howler. This is a 20-ton mech. It's got 2 SRM 6-packs on a torso turret. Does not look like they made it a turret, but that's fine. It's a Howler. I mean, it's not a great mech. At 20 tons, it's probably going to get destroyed fairly frequently, but it's a fast guy. Probably good for harassing, for scouting. Looks good. I like it. Next up, we've got the Locust 2C. This guy comes in at 25 tons. He is definitely bigger than your garden variety Locust, and I like the fact that he's not static. Looks like he's kind of looking around for something to shoot. The Locust 2C is a very good mech from what I remember. I mean, it's a Locust, so it's got a movement profile of 812, but at the same time, it's a good harassing unit, and you can get in and out and do some damage with them. And while I realize this is for Alpha Strike, a lot of the movement stuff and things like that I'm going to be bringing up from Classic Battletech, so we'll take a look at the cards later. Now this is a mech that I've been looking forward to for a while. This is the Thunderbolt 2C. I am an OG Thuddite. I love every one of the Thunderbolts that Catalyst Game Labs has put out. He's got 2 underslung weapons. It's got, looks like an LRM launcher above the cockpit. A lot of really neat details. I think he is going to be a blast to paint up, and I can't wait to field him. Oh, so many juicy details in everything. So much fun painting up. Oh, yes. Yes. Next we have the Rifleman C. This is a basic Rifleman chassis and thrown in with a bunch of clan stuff. This also has some plastic greeblies to glue in place. I think they're radar emitters or something, because the Rifleman historically has been an anti-aircraft platform. But I do like how it looks like a standard Rifleman, but updated weapons. You can see where the cockpit is. And it looks like it's slowly walking forward. Oh man, this thing's got a bunch of jump jets. I think this guy has improved jump jets, meaning that he's going to move at like 688 or 588 or something like that. Oh, this guy looks good. I've never been a really big fan of the Riflemen. Love the way that they look, but not really how they perform. And I know that he's undersynced, but that is a Rifleman for you. Alright. Next up, we've got a new variant for the Summoner. Summoner is one of my favorite clan mechs. It's like a Thunderbolt 2C that is not a Thunderbolt 2C. He's got his foot up, so it looks like he's walking or running forward. Nice thick legs. All kinds of juicy details to paint up. Looks like some jump jets in his feet. Oh, this looks so nice. I am so excited, and I can't wait to paint this guy up. And you're going to hear that a lot, but I'm often more of a hobbyist than a player, because I love to paint up mechs. Here we have the Marauder 2C. This is a big boy. I think the Marauder 2C is 90 or 95 tons. Actually, he's 85 tons because he's 10 tons heavier than a standard Marauder. But he is big. He's in a nice dynamic pose, walking forward, armed all over. Yes, he is going to be dangerous on the battlefield. He's got a ton of armor, a lot of structure, and then weapons can take some punishment, and he will dish out some punishment. Definitely has the look, the remnant look of a classic Marauder, but definitely newer, hence the 2C. Yes. Last but not least for the mechs, we've got the Bane 3. And this guy has like 8 LRM-15 launchers and enough ammo to survive an engagement for a while. He is a big old boy at 100 tons, and oh, he is going to waddle into the battle and just lay pain down. Especially if you can get a spotter and get some indirect fire going. He doesn't even need to be seen. He can just hide behind a hill and lob some death at whatever the enemy is. Oh, that looks so good. Oh, that is so sexy. Not a big Bane fan normally, but this guy just looks dangerous. Of course, 8 LRM-15s will have that effect. Now, here's one of the neat things that comes with this. You get not one, but 2 Fulcrum hover tanks. These are, I think, 50 or 55 tons. In Classic, they move, I think, 10, 15. Not especially armed heavily. I think they got like a large laser, an LRM-10, and maybe a medium laser. But at 10, 15, they can zip around the battlefield, get behind stuff, make your enemy have to prioritize targets. Do you let this guy get behind you and do some damage, or do you try to take him out with a high TMM? I definitely am digging the vehicles that Catalyst Game Labs is putting out, and this guy is no exception. Yep, turret turns. I don't think I'm going to try and pop it off. I'm afraid break, but definitely looking forward to getting this guy painted up and on the table. Most of these guys are going to be painted up in my Clan Jade Falcon Epsilon Galaxy paint scheme, but I might take the Howler and the Locust 2C and paint them up as Rasselhag Dominion, because I already have a Locust 2C and a Howler painted up for Jade Falcon Epsilon Galaxy. Not that I'm like planning too far ahead, but Snowblind is coming up probably sometime next year. Next up, let's take a look at the cards that we got. First up, we got some Battlefield support cards. Got Heavy Emplacement and a Heavy Hover APC on the other side. 2, 3 of those guys. Got a Light Emplacement and a Medium Emplacement. Got 4 of those guys. And then a Clan Foot Point. More Elementals. Ooh, and these are not standard Elementals. These guys have AP Goss. So these look to be conventional infantry. And another AP Goss. Conventional infantry, AP Goss. AP Goss. But you have a full star of Elementals if you want them. One thing that is a little disappointing is that they do have a bunch of Battlefield support cards, but they did not include any for the Fulcrum. So I wonder if that was an oversight, and that might be a question that I have to ask the guys from Six Sides of Gaming and Randall if they're still at PAX. Next up, we've got our Alpha Strike cards. The Locust 2C. And Locust 2C4. Howler 6. Probably just Howler 1. We got the Rifleman C. Correction, the Rifleman C2. not to be confused with Rifleman 2C. And also the Rifleman C3. We've got the Summoner H. As well as the Summoner A. We've got the Thunderbolt 2C. And then the Thunderbolt 2C2. Got the Bane. Indirect Fire 7. He does 8 at all ranges. This guy is a beast. But you're paying 69 points for him, so not undercosted. Bane 5. Got the Marauder 2C. The Fulcrums. Inside you've got your standard Fulcrum. And then on the other side you have the Fulcrum 2. And you get 2 of those cards. You've got on one side the AP Gauss Rifle Elementals. On the other side, you've got your Clan Foot Point. You get 5 of these. You got your light emplacement. And on the flip side, you've got a medium emplacement. You get 3 of those. Lastly, got the heavy emplacement, as well as the heavy hover APC. Doesn't look too strong, but it's designed to ferry probably those infantry not engage in a heavy battle. Still, I do like variety, and those are nice to have. Let's take a look at the actual Aces cards themselves. Alright, so it looks like they have these broken down by unit type. This is Scout. And then you've got 3 different modes: aggressive, balanced, and cautious. And then, based upon situations, you follow the instructions on the card. The backside gives you a little bit of information about this one. It looks like I think he's supposed to be associated with the Howler. I'm fine with that. And then if you have the option to overheat, it tells you when you can overheat, and more importantly, when not to. Very cool. We've got the same thing for a Brawler. And we got, looks to be the Thunderbolt 2C. And we've got the Striker. So this is where it's important to pay attention to the role that each of these units have, because if you want to use other units, you could substitute a different Striker for the Locust 2C if you wanted to. Next up, looks like we got some commander cards. Each one of these has a letter next to them: Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo. These look to be Clan. And we have just some regular mech warriors. Also, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo. I'm not sure what these are yet, but I will after I go through the rules. Then it looks like we got some special cards. Yeah, Assassin Attack. Before rolling to attack a target in its rear arc, spend 1 edge to increase your damage rating by 1, in addition to the bonus 1 damage for attacking the target from the rear. Oh, there's some neat cards that will give a little bit more flavor to the battle. Some gorgeous artwork on this. It's the one thing I can safely say about Catalyst Game Labs. They have some fantastic artists, and the art direction just keeps getting better and better. And then there are some negative cards like Forced Withdraw, Fleeing, some sort of a movement objective, indirect fire attacks. Again, I don't know what any of this means yet, but I will after I read up on the cards. These look to be probably player cards, because you can put your call sign in, different skills for the actual mech warriors. You got a different artwork for each one. Got like edge abilities learned, and then the campaigns that they played in. So this is kind of a different way to track your pilots throughout the game. Alright, let's go a bit more in depth on these cardboard cutouts. Lots of different tokens here. Let's see, if we flipped it over here, you've got your different waypoints. And from what I remember, when you're setting up the map, you're going to put different waypoints out there, but you might not know what's behind them. Here's a little initiative tracker that probably goes here. Not sure what these guys are, but this looks to mark, did you jump? Did you sprint? Initiative tracker 1 through 7, 8 through 14. We've got terrain again. Here we got light emplacements. Looks like a heavy emplacement. Piece to the bridge. On the other side, these double as medium emplacements, and that doubles as a hover APC. And here we have some points of elementals, another hover APC. And if you don't want elementals, you can always go with some foot soldiers. I have to break out some of the elementals that I have so that I can use the foot soldier tokens. Here's the heavy emplacement. And here's the base of the bridge, some more rivers. And yet more dry gulches. This looks fantastic. Alright, let's take a look through. Let's just give a glance at the rules here. Got things like terrain. Beginning the campaign. All kinds of neat stuff. Tunnel raid, that looks like fun. Not one step more. Base of the enemy. Your strike recovery. These must be all the various missions that you can potentially play. Looking at the artwork. This is gorgeous artwork if I can see. Oh, here's all the different waypoints. The different stuff. And we got the epilogue when you get to the end of the campaign. Now, from the way that it was described, you can play this multiple times and get different results each time. It's not going to be the exact same campaign, just make some different decisions, kind of like an old school choose your own adventure.
here we have sortie log. You can track each of the missions that you go on. Randall did say that they're hoping to have these up in PDF format by the end of the month. For right now, since they're individual sheets, I'll probably just throw them in a sheet protector. That way I don't mark up the actual sheets themselves. You got the player force roster where you can track each of your pilots, mechs, and memorial, anyone that gets killed. And then track each of the sorties played. There's a lot of information here. We'll go over that a bit more in depth. And the rules, I hope. And this is just your cheat sheet, but it does have the vehicle critical hits, modem and systems damage, infantry, transporting infantry, and rules on emplacements. Here is the actual rule book. You can go through how to play, how to set up, all that fun stuff. Here's how to run the automated opponents, what all the different icons mean, actual gameplay, setup, just beautiful artwork. It's got different tabs so you can flip to different items. And then if you really want to get the different source books that Aces is attached to, because each one of these is going to be attached to one of the Ilclan era source books, you can certainly do that. And this looks to be a cheat sheet as well. Very cool. And lastly, we got all of the hills. And these look to be just very simply put. Fold everything. That is one of the hills. If you don't have a bunch of 3D printed terrain, or you haven't built any terrain with foam core or anything like that, this will certainly do the job. Go ahead and take it apart just so that I can store it. But you get quite a few of these hills, and some different shaped and sized hills as well. And you can use this with the terrain that you got with the Alpha Strike box set, or if you've got the Alpha Strike expansion with the additional cheat sheets as well as more terrain. But that is the unboxing for Battletech Aces Scouring Sands. This looks to be an amazing box set. They put a lot of work into it, and I can't wait to give this a test drive at my friendly local game store. However, due to the way that it is a cooperative game, you can either play with a friend against the OP4, or you can play solo. I will probably end up doing both, and who knows, you might even see something that resembles a bat rep coming soon.
Howler 6 is a 20-ton mech, making it the lightest in the box. It debuted in 3086. Howler 6 is armed with two SRM-6 launchers, each mounted in a right torso turret. 2 tons of ammo gives the Howler 6 some flexibility in its loadout. The Howler 6 has a movement profile of 711. The Howler 6 comes in at an epic 550 battle value, or 23 PV for Alpha Strike. The Locust 2C4 debuted in 3064 and comes in at 25 tons, 5 tons more than the original Locust. It has the same movement profile as the Locust, namely 812. However, it is armed with 1 medium laser and 6 small heavy lasers. 12 double heat sinks allows the Locust 2C to run, Alpha Strike, and only go up 1 heat. The Locust 2C will cost you 795 battle value or 26 PV for Alpha Strike. The Rifleman C2 is 60 tons of possible heat management issues. It's based on the venerable Rifleman chassis, but it has a bunch of fancy clan tech thrown into it. An experimental XXL engine and improved jump jets gives the Rifleman C2 a movement profile of 699. That experimental XXL engine does mean that it has 4 engine slots in each side torso, making it ever so more susceptible to a side torso kill. The Rifleman C2 is armed with 2 clan ER large lasers and 2 medium improved heavy lasers. Alpha striking is a problem as it will generate 38 heat, and the Rifleman C2 only has 12 double heat sinks, so alternate firing should be the order of the day. Of course, it doesn't have any ammo to potentially cook off, so you do have that. You can field the Rifleman C2 for 2,150 battle value or 45 PV for Alpha Strike. The Thunderbolt 2C is 70 tons of clan cheesy goodness, running onto the battlefield in 3085, and coming in at 5 tons heavier than your classic Inner Sphere Thunderbolt. The Clan XL engine gives it a movement profile of 5.8. The Thunderbolt C2 brings to the table 2 large improved heavy lasers, 3 ER medium lasers, 1 Streak SRM-6, 1 Streak LRM-15 along with 2 tons of ammo. 17 double heat sinks do an abysmal job of keeping the Thunderbolt C2 cool if it alpha strikes. For all of that, you can fill the Thunderbolt 2C for 2,475 battle value or 48 PV in Alpha Strike. The Summoner H is 70 tons and it leapt under the battlefield in 3059. With a movement profile of 585, it is in line with most other Summoner variants. The Summoner H will blast the enemy with 2 advanced large heavy lasers, 2 ER medium lasers, and all 4 of those are tied into a targeting computer. An AMS system is stuffed into the left torso along with a single ton of ammo to help protect the Summoner H from incoming missiles. 23 double heat sinks means that the Summoner H can run and fire everything and only go up a smidge in heat, but that will change if it jumps. You can add the Summoner H to your forces for 2,536 battle value or 43 PV in Alpha Strike. The Marauder 2C6 is 85 tons, 10 tons heavier than your classic Marauder, and is chock full of clan goodness. The Clan XL engine, plus improved jump jets, gives it a movement profile of 466. The Marauder 2C6 is armed with 1 large heavy laser, 1 Gauss rifle with 2 tons of ammo, 2 ER medium lasers, and 1 LBX-10 autocannon with 3 tons of ammo. 12 double heat sinks kinda sorta keep the Marauder 2C cool, but it would be recommended to alternate your fire instead of alpha striking. The Marauder 2C6 can be yours for a measly 2,646 battle value or 47 PV for Alpha Strike. The last mech included in this box set is the 100-ton Bane 3. The Bane Standard is armed with 10 UAC-2s. The Bane 3 goes in a completely different direction, namely sporting 8 LRM-15s and 16 tons of ammo, meaning that the Bane 3 can send death downrange for a very long time. All of that LRM ammo is protected by case. Because somebody thought it would be funny, or they're using it for emotional support, the Bane 3 also has a one-shot Streak SRM-4. It's a good thing that the Bane 3 has a lot of LRM launchers because it's not moving into the fray very quickly, as it waddles in at an epic 3.5. 19 double heat sinks means that the Bane 3 can lob full salvos of missiles for a while before having to worry about heat. And even then, it only just fires 7 LRM-15s and that should deal with the pesky heat for a round. Bane 3 can be yours for the low price of 2,941 battle value or 69 PV for Alpha Strike. The last unit in the box is not a mech but a vehicle. Well, 2 of them, and they hover, and they're tanks. So we're talking about the Fulcrum Hover Tank. The Fulcrum Hover Tank comes in at 50 tons and floated onto the battlefield in 3057. The Fulcrums are armed with 1 large laser, 1 medium laser, and 1 LRM-10 with a single ton of ammo. Tag allows the Fulcrum to mark targets for indirect fire, and an ECM suite means that the Fulcrum can break up C3 networks or interfere with Artemis. The Fulcrum has a fast movement speed of 10-15, meaning that it can zip around the battlefield, get into position, and ruin the day of the Op-4. The Fulcrum does come in at 1,167 battle value, or 42 PV for Alpha Strike. Now all of that heavy metal together, including the 2 Fulcrum hover tanks and all the units having 4 or 5 pilots, you're looking at 16,427 battle value for Classic, 385 PV for Alpha Strike, and a total of 530 tons. Wow, that was a lot. Now the $80 question, is Battletech Aces Scouring Sands worth your hobby dollar? Yes, it is. Without a doubt, it is a great value for your hobby dollar. You get 9 high-quality models, a lot of cardboard terrain, and full rules to run a campaign either solo or cooperatively. If you don't currently play Alpha Strike, this will give you an exciting opportunity to give it a try, and not just as a throwdown between 2 forces, you'll actually have objective-based scenarios. The terrain looks great on the table and will help deck out your battlefields. The models are fantastic and can be used with both Classic and Alpha Strike. The rulebooks and cards are high quality, ready to be used over and over. Even if you don't play Alpha Strike, I think it's worth it just for the new models. I know I've raved about the box set, and I think it's fantastic, but it's not perfect. There are a few small things that I do have to call out. I won't call them complaints, more like constructive criticisms. Warning, terms and conditions apply, and your mileage may vary. First up, there are no medium mechs in this box. You get 2 lights, 3 heavies, and 2 assaults. I think CGL should maybe have swapped out the Marauder 2C or maybe the Rifleman C for a medium mech. Medium mechs are the sweet spot for me, and I don't think they get enough love. Yes, the Fulcrums are 50-ton tanks, but they're not mechs. Now speaking of the Fulcrums, there are no BSP cards included for them. We got some BSP cards for the Elementals, for the infantry points, even the new emplacements. But the new hotness in the box, the Fulcrum models, there are no BSP cards for them. I hope that the stats for them will be included somewhere. Next, I want to talk about the Mech Warrior Hero cards. These are not the same finish like the Alpha Strike or BSP cards, namely, you're not able to use a dry erase marker on them. In the rulebook, I recommend using pencil, but I think they could have made them the same quality or better as the Alpha Strike cards. I'll be sleeving them personally. Lastly, there are no dice included in the box. I mean, come on, they could have given us some Alpha Strike dice. Alright, this really isn't a criticism. It's not like I don't have a half-dozen sets of those generic white dice that I never use already. It's more of an observation. Now, having mentioned these things, they are not deal breakers. This is all my opinion, and I suspect there was a reason for the choices that CGL and Six Sides of Gaming made. But I needed to mention the small amount of bad with the incredible amount of good. So there we have it, the unboxing of Battletech Aces Scouring Sands. It's an amazing box set, giving you new models, terrain, cards, and new rules to play an exciting campaign for Alpha Strike. It is the first of 4 Battletech Aces box sets, and with luck, we won't have to wait 2 years for the next one. I've been waiting for this since the Mercenaries Kickstarter with mild interest, but as soon as I saw what was in store at PAX Unplugged 24, I became excited and could not wait for it to drop. Well, it's here now, and expect a more in-depth look at the mechanics, and maybe even something resembling a bat rep. Have you gotten Battletech Aces Scouring Sands yet? Is this a must-buy, or is it in the I can wait category? Is there a model or an aspect of the box set that you cannot wait to get? For me, being an OG Thuddite, it's the Thunderbolt 2C. Are you excited about this narrative campaign CGL and Six Sides of Gaming has put together? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video.